to practice, and he's still coach. He's running the periods. He's running the practice drills. He's coordinating. He's watching everything that's going on. And I played golf with him a few weeks ago, and he was trying to beat me just as hard this year as 10 years ago.
That's good. That's what we want to hear, right?
Oh, yeah. He's very competitive.
Yeah,
but he's great.
Yeah.
Whoa.
There
it is. There it is.
And here come your
The Dreadnaughts are coming out. All right.
And Fred and I are going to get ready to turn around and bring you to action here as they are coming up on the Kickoff Classic. Osceola, Fred, we're going to bring the first half action. You're going to take off because you got to head out west.
Yes.
From what I understand a little bit, but then Keith DeLoach may jump in with us the second half, and we'll try to bring you all the action. Some of these new players, a lot of excitement. Welcome to Friday Night Live and the webcast. Fred Lopez, Tim Conti, we'll get you underway in just a few seconds.
The Dreadnaughts won the opening coin toss and deferred their option to the second half. The Kowboys,
as you heard, the Dreadnaughts won the opening coin toss, and they will defer to the second half, as is tradition with the Dreadnaughts. Coach Castle likes to try to get the lead and then come out with the ball in the second half as well and have a strong third quarter. By nature, Fred, the Dreadnaughts seem to, I can't remember exactly the scoring, but our third quarter certainly seems to be one where we distance ourselves.
Well, remember, I used to say it, we were a third quarter football team in close games. But, it seems like the pattern, the game's usually over by over by the end of the first half.
Very true.
Or if it's a tight game, we've always historically been a third quarter football team.
As Fred said, the band's here, the anchorettes are here, the cheerleaders are here, and the fans have come out in full force. So don't tell them it's just a practice Kickoff Classic game. They want to see their Dreadnaughts play. They want to see what this 2019 campaign may look like, a sneak peek anyways, into what we may have the rest of the season. We have some interesting matchups this year, Fred. Plant City's in there.
Yep.
Hialeah, of course, coming from Miami. Some very interesting teams. Anyone catches your eye there on the schedule as you look it over?
Well, Manatee at Manatee. Next
How
week.
about next week? Yeah,
That's right.
I thought you'd say that.
What's interesting is Coach said we've got the most away games we've had in a while. We've only got 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 5 home games.
Yep. We normally have a good 7 or 8 that are piled up. And so that's going to be a little, and that is a difference. I mean, when you travel that much and have to prepare for that, we've done pretty well as a travel team, but it's still a different kind of preparation, different rhythm.
It is, and the thing that excites me about the amount of away games this year is for this new team, it'll be nice to see how they adjust and practice on away as a family to gel and get better, so that hopefully they can peak at just the right time for playoffs.
Fred and I will try to get our now older eyes situated to get the numbers right and the jerseys and the names.
Now
takes us a little more time.
We got some new talent out there.
New talent is number 83, Matthew Word, the 11th grader, set to kick this one off here in the Kickoff Classic, and we are just about underway. He is heading north with this kick, as again the Dreadnaughts won the coin toss, and the Kowboys will be first on offense. Mr. Word gets it underway.
Good kick.
End over end. Good kick to the 2-yard line. Bounces off. Runs back in the end zone, and that will be a little bit of a mistake. Mental. He had to probably do that with the bobble, but that'll come out to the 20-yard line. May have been a blessing for them. You never know. The Dreadnaughts look like they were on that special teams.
They looked like they had some decent pursuit. Tim, have you noticed they kind of switched some things around on the field here on the sidelines? The helmet, the battleship and the helmet now are on the left side. The cheerleaders are on the right, which I think that's the first time in a long time where the cheerleaders have been on the opposite side of the field.
Yep, and the anchorettes are where the cheerleaders were. The band's still kind of in that north end zone grandstand that they've been parked for a few years. And always a special place to play some high school football.
Decent crowd for a Kickoff Classic.
It's our first look, number 2. Devon Wells coming up for the Kowboys in quarterback position under center. And he's going to call for the ball. Simple left side handoff. Number 21 lowers his head, but 51 just smothers him right there at the line. That's big Dadrian James on the tackle.
Yep.
Sean Smith as well in on the initial hit.
Dadrian's a senior.
A few yards on the first down play. 2nd down and 8 upcoming for the Kowboys as we start this 2019 campaign here with the Kickoff Classic. Thank you for joining us. Had a call down there earlier, a fan's son from Michigan listening to us. We love that international or national flares. On the run is the quarterback. He's going to be pushed out at the 22. Great pursuit there.
Tim, I was just going to mention the player to watch at middle linebacker, Sean Smith, number 12. And I was going to say something before the play started, and then sure enough, he was the one responsible for the player running out of bounds. He looks like he's got some good size, too. He runs well. Great pursuit down the line.
Quarterback 5'10", 165 for the Cowboys. And Finley Graham looks like he got a little size over the summer, actually, there at the – still playing back, but looks a little thicker and bigger. Hopefully he kept that speed going.
Oh, yeah.
Shotgun formation on a 3rd down and about 8. Going to run up the middle, looking for some space, but there's some Dreadnaughts there, and they're going to close the gap with the first flag of the night flying at the 20-yard line.
Quadrille Hall, number 4.
So Hall is one of those moves that Coach Castle decided wants to plug into the defense, Fred. As it looks like the penalty will go against the Cowboys, and they'll be marched back on a holding call.
He's one of the He's one of the 4 deep, the 8 deep defensive backs.
That's a great problem to have. So no gain. That'll bring up a 4th down situation and punting for the Cowboys. Number 7, Sean Smith, excited about that defensive stand for the Knots. First out.
So number 23, the speedster, Kendall Dennis, one of the defensive backs that transferred in. He's back receiving the punt. Supposedly one of the top recruits in the country in the defensive back position.
Along with Finley Graham, they try to kick it away from Grant off the left side. Takes one bounce and out of bounds there at the 43-yard line, let's say, 44, somewhere in that range. And of course, just a very memorable run back from Finley Graham in the state championship game.
Oh, man.
Where he had that kickoff return. That was just something special. He gave the pose and got a flag on it, but that was one of those that might be worth it, as just a lot of talent out there.
I'm just looking at Finley Graham and number 23. Like I said, Kendall Dennis now, the two punt returners. That's going to be dangerous this year.
If the other coach is looking at some film, they may want to do what the Cowboys did just there and try to angle it out of bounds. It might be your better bet.
Looks like Finley's entered the offense.
He is. Entered the offense and actually brought the play in.
Number 10 is out, split wide.
So kind of the scat quarterback with Finley Graham back there. He's going to take it off snap, left side, looking for some blocking, cuts up the middle, has a nice run going out to the 45 of the Cowboys. Still on his feet. He breaks it. Finley Graham, are you kidding me? The first one of the night. There's gloves laying down, but he left nothing on the field. No flags. Touchdown Knots on the first offensive play.
Yep. Awesome.
A little power there by Mr. Graham.
Just seemed like it looked like it was just a wildcat snap.
Just wildcat. And he did a lot of had a couple good blocks, Fred, to open some initial 10
Obviously,
yards.
broke a tremendous 2 or 3 tackles.
But then it ran into what you thought was going to be a wall of Cowboys and somehow kept his feet churning, as you would always say when you coach. Keep it moving.
Yep.
And he did just that and broke out of the pack, and then the speed kicked in and just no chance catching up with him as 83 word on for the first extra point in this Kickoff Classic with an early score. Knots on the board, 7-0 with 10:53 in the first quarter.
Woo. I thought something was up when they were putting him on the field.
A power statement right off the bat.
You know, Coach is known for that. He's always got a few tricks up his sleeve, and he always likes to do something special at the end of a turnover, beginning of the half, end of the half. He always likes to do something special, and having him enter the game like that was cool.
So one play, 57 yards, and a touchdown for the Knots. Their first offensive touch results in points.
Well, Coach is probably disappointed because they weren't able to get any rhythm with the offense, knowing him. But he'll take the points.
He'll take them.
But he wants his offense to get some experience, run a couple plays and get comfortable. I'm sure he had a script.
Again, there were a couple nice blocks to get Finley going with some momentum, but he did at one point almost come to a near stop. And then, just as Fred said, kept the knees high, legs churning, headed north, and resulted in an easy 6. I wouldn't say easy, but it was a well-deserved, nice run.
Coach did say that they had a really, really good offseason, and they seem to be coming together. For the handful of kids that joined the team, he said that there's some really, really good kids. And I talked to a handful of other people that have been to the practices besides me, and the sheer size and the athleticism that you're seeing. If these kids play as good as they look, it's going to be a fun year.
That's exciting to hear. As obviously talent has to be there, coaching has to be there, but that chemistry word's got to be there too.
Chemistry's important.
You got to want to play as a team. You want to play for each other. There can be a lot of stars. We've seen it in the past where the teams just haven't quite gelled for some reason. As the kick's going to bounce over into the end zone, and it'll be out to the 20.
There's a unique dynamic that's going on with Lakeland, and in a lot of successful schools, is that in the years ago you had to wait. The sophomore had to wait. He had to wait his time, and then the sophomore ultimately became the starter. Well, now you've got talent on the field, and then when the talent graduates, you've got other talent that just wants to transfer in. And like Coach has said, he's never going to apologize for being successful as far as the program is concerned. But we've got kids that are coming in now. It's just a whole different dynamic, and these kids are having to. In 1 year, they're having to gel, where usually you build over a 2 to 3 year period.
Good insight by Fred Lopez, joining us in the press box tonight so graciously. As, again, the Cowboys set for their second offensive possession, hoping to improve on the first one. But, wow, comes slamming. Zay Roberson just piled on and just drilled the running back a couple yards back. Nice hit by Zay Roberson. Still pickup of about 2.5 yards.
He'll gain 3 yards, brings up 2nd down and 7.
Zay's one of those defensive backs. You're going to be seeing a lot of tackles coming up from the secondary this year. The linebackers are new, and the defensive backs are blue chips.
Well,
they're blue chippers, and so you're going to be seeing a lot of support from the secondary this year, I believe.
First thing I noticed is how quick those gaps got filled, and it was from deep, like you said, as, again, the quarterback looking at the option pitches late to number 5. To Randy Swint gets lit up as a flag flies over on the sideline. Strung him out and just nowhere for him to run.
I think that was Zay again. Yep. He's flying to the football. I don't know what the flag was about, but he is flying to the football.
There is an injured player down on the Dreadnaught side of the ball.
Osceola.
And again, as part of, you hate to even talk about it, relatively last year was one of our better years as far as injury goes, but that is a part of any contact sport in high school football, and certainly you want to avoid those in the Kickoff Classic. Hopefully just a minor setback here for one of the Dreadnaught players. Can't see who it is down. So after the penalty, it'll be 2nd down and 16, Fred, as still can't get a number on the down Dreadnaught player. We do thank you again for joining us here on the webcast. The Kickoff Classic underway home here at Byrant Stadium. That is 23, it looks like, who is Kendall Dennis, the 12th grade defensive back.
The weather is absolutely fantastic.
It is. It's actually a little cooler, right?
It's cooler, and
complaining about
there's a little bit of cloud in the air. There's a little clouds in the air, but it's not rainy anymore. It's turned out to be beautiful.
So Dennis has to come off for a play, but he appears to be in good shape, and he'll probably
thankful for that.
Trot back on the field after this play. 2nd 16 after the penalty against the Cowboys, and Devon Wells again setting the shotgun, sends a man in motion across the near side, handoff right side, off tackle. Good stiff defense up the middle for the Knots, just not giving way at all. Number 20 there, and also let's see who that was.
He didn't make it past the defensive line this time.
He didn't.
Dwayne McGee on the carry.
And Quadir Hall again in there as well. Just, boy, you mentioned the corner play. I mean, these guys are coming from linebacker, and they look like they're there right after the snap.
Absolutely.
No gain, 3rd and 16.
Sean Smith, the middle linebacker, he's got good size. Tim, you've got the specs on him, I think, on your side of the roster.
Who are we talking about?
Sean Smith, number 7.
Oh, yeah, number 7 is a 6'2", 210. Yeah.
He is a stud in the middle. And those blue chipper DBs, they're getting upset when they can't make a play.
Again, on the move is the quarterback, flushing him out to the left side. He's going to get out of bounds after making up the penalty yards and picking up a few, but still going to be well short on a 4th down now.
5 yards, brings up 4th down and 11.
So Gabriel Dindy, what's his size?
What number is Gabriel?
Number 99.
99. Old Gabriel is a 10th grader, 6'3", 235.
He was
hustling. He's moving all of that 235.
He looks like he's lined up at defensive end, and he's on the edge. Oh, we're going to be hearing his name for a couple years.
Finley Graham is the lone receiver back Oh, no, number 6 is going to come out and join him, Jalen Christian. So there'll be 2 back receivers for the Knots. High snap over the head, and that will probably be a safety. There's just no chance for number 9, the kicker, to get that ball, and the Dreadnaughts will tack on an easy 2.
We got points.
And we'll get the ball back as well.
I keep forgetting that every time we get points, that cannon's going to go off.
It does startle you. As you get a little bit older, those nerves aren't quite there as much anymore. It gets jumpy. So active.
Oh, we get points and we get the ball.
Cheerleaders and the anchorettes and the band active early here with the Knots up 9 points with 9:15 to go in the first quarter.
You know, it's one thing, like you said, Tim, it's one thing to be athletic. It's another thing to gel and to be in sync. And the boys, they look like they're in sync right now early on.
It's almost scary a little bit, Fred. I mean, you hate to, you don't put early expectations on this early, but we've seen a lot of Dreadnought teams in the Kickoff Classic and early on. Even some of the better teams, it takes a while. This team looks a little bit ahead. They look almost like 2 or 3 games in.
I watched them warming up, and you can tell a lot about a team when nobody's really paying attention, and the way that they're talking to each other, the leadership, the rah-rah, the cheering that they did when nobody was watching. It just looks like they've got some leadership on this team, and it's early.
Spencer Richards, the kicker for the Cowboys, wanting not to be as active as he's been already this game.
Arian Smith is deep with Finley Graham. We'll see what happens.
Watch out there as they are going to kick
Finley's
deep.
getting it, looks like.
Boy, Finley's licking his chops. He's going to stay in bounds, make a good rotation move, look for a hole.
He's gone.
And
he's gone.
Finley Graham picking his way, looking for the exact blockers, and he loses
I think he lost the ball.
And, in fact, the Cowboys got it. So it was a great return.
It looked like he was gone, and he had the ball yanked out of his arm.
Maybe got a little lax.
He was running a little bit low, running a little bit loose, a little bit confident, but that's okay. He's got to get that ball high and tight.
Yeah. But, the experience he has on returning things, you see the patience and the gap picking and following the blocks, and just did it to a T, except didn't hold on to it.
He looked like he's been there several times, and he got a little bit low arm there at the end.
So we picked up 2 points, but gave the ball back to the Cowboys about where they kicked it off from. Thankfully, it was a good run before the fumble, so didn't improve much on their
like a long
field
punt
position. It was kind of a long punt as Wells again is set deep pitch out to number 6, who's trying to find some space, but the Dreadnaughts converge and just level. Wow.
Tackled by Tyrell Jones.
Jones on the tackle, but you could pick,
number 19
pick
is
3
Cleotis England,
yeah.
number 12, defensive line. I mean, they've got some. Their pursuit is amazing, and they all look like they're about 6'2", 6'3". I mean, this is a tall. These skill kids.
A little bit unusual
linebacker,
for Knots. We're not used to seeing that
for the secondary and and at the linebacker position. These kids are 6 feet plus. I mean, they all look like they're 6'1", 6'2".
And they can move, which is the bonus. Pitch to number 5 out wide to the left. And again, as we've said, Quadir Hall in the backfield just wreaking havoc early.
So coach strategically, obviously you want to line up your best athletes, your beefiest athletes on the defensive line, and you want to make sure you have the best available at linebacker, and then usually the secondary gets the leftovers, and we've had smaller players over the years. Good athletes, but smaller players. This year, we've got size, Tim.
That's impressive. So Hall hit him first, and then Glinton wrapped him up, the 12th grader, number 96, 6 foot 255. In the interior as Wells tries to roll out, just trying to find anything making it happen, looking for a receiver, throws it behind his receiver at the 40, incomplete pass. No chance there as he threw about 4 yards behind number 85. Another 4th down that quick.
Another
in and
4th down.
3 and out. For
little throwback historical information. In '86, which was my senior year when we won our first state championship, our 2 starting corners were 6'2", 185, 190 pounds. We had 2 corners that were really tall, about as tall as our defensive ends. And that was just a reference point of size, and we were very successful that year. We'll see what happens this year with these guys.
Arian Smith, the wide receiver, the speedster back there with Finley Graham. They're just going to let it go a bit off the side of the foot. Touched there at the 46 or so. of the Cowboys. So great starting field position with the Dreadnaughts leading 9-0 with 7:33 remaining in the first quarter. So we have yet to really see the Dreadnaughts work on offense, Fred.
I'm sure Coach is frustrated. He's like, come on, guys, I want to run some plays.
7:33 left, and one play run by the Knots, up 9-0. Of course, the safety tacked onto the first touchdown run by Finley Graham. I formation, strong I, 2 wide receivers split as the quarterback drops back. He's looking to pass early, fires it up, number 10 out there, tries to get under, can't get there. That's the speedster, Arian Smith, just couldn't quite grab it.
Mason, nice ball, just sailed a little bit wide. If he'd have threw it a little bit more downfield, a little bit more vertical.
Yeah, I agree.
A little bit more vertical, and that's just trying to get to know your receiver. But Arian clearly has the speed to run up under it. He just needs to throw it out there.
Yeah, he was accelerating and didn't look like he was giving much more effort, which is impressive. He had an extra gear for sure, just a little outside, as Fred said. 2nd down and 10. Nice little sweep interior, but the Cowboys pick it up nicely and drop them for almost a half-yard loss maybe.
Bowman's about to call timeout himself and say, Coach, okay, enough is enough. I want the ball.
Jalen Roll with the run, and we have yet to see DeMarcus get the ball on a 3rd down and 11 upcoming. As number 1 is the sole set back in this formation with Mason Martin in the shotgun. He's going to look to flip, then throw it back the opposite direction to the speedster. Nice move by number 10, who again stays in bounds and gets thrown out. Going to be short of the 1st down, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see Coach go for it. That's going to be close.
Well, that was a good catch by Aaron, and that's what you call a confidence catch. And you want to be able to, you want your receiver in situations like that, you want to make sure he can catch the ball. That gives Coach confidence that he can run that play.
That is a 1st down. They gave a nice spot to Arian Smith. So the ref said 1st down. The chain gang
looks
still
like the chain gang
getting
is
confirmation. They're hesitant.
But it looks like a 1st down. I don't know.
They're checking their own spot, seeing if they did in fact get that correct, or is it going to be? Well, they're bringing the sticks back, so it's going to be 4th and inches, it looks like.
Looks like 4th and inches.
Maybe a bit of a different call. Let's see if
no play.
Mason Martin just keeps it under center, and he dives forward for the 1st down.
You got it?
Yeah, nice job, Mason Martin.
Mason Martin on the keeper.
I thought Coach was going to do the traditional no play at the line, right? Now we got the 1st down.
Officially fresh set of downs with the ball at the 35. Dreadnought offense on the move. Weapons abound for Mason Martin to work with. That was a nice kind of counter pass, as you said, to the talented wide receiver Arian Smith. Kind of used DeMarcus Bowman as a decoy and then threw it back. And nice play, a little bit different for the Knots. And you'll see some plays just made for Mason Martin and his skill level. Obviously, I formation. 1st down, fumble, and the ball is picked up by Bowman. Bowman makes a hard move, picks up about 4 or 5 yards off a broken play.
Wow. Bobble snap that resulted in a fumble. Bowman picks it up, gets almost a 1st down. How many yards? About 6 yards.
2nd down and 4.
Anytime you have a broken play, you'll be happy to pick up 6 positive yards.
Unbelievable.
Could have been a disaster, but DeMarcus had a good head about him to just stay calm, pick it up on the bounce, the one hopper, and scant down 6 yards. Actually, he ran about 8-9 yards because the fumble was 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage. So nice pickup by Bowman. 2 wide receivers, 1 split to each side. Mason Martin is going to hand off to Bowman, left side. Big hole, Bowman. It's going to easily walk in, untouched. DeMarcus Bowman. That looked way, way too easy.
Sure did, Tim.
Oh, my.
And I think he's been waiting on that.
Goodness.
That ought to make Coach feel good. That means the offense is executing. And you know the unsung heroes are always the offensive line. That was a big hole he ran through.
Huge. I mean, DeMarcus doesn't need that big of a hole, but he'll take it if you give it to him.
He'll take it. And he's got the speed. He doesn't need a big gap. He just needs it to be there.
He's not shy about hitting people in his runs for sure, but he didn't need to lower any kind of anything that time. He just ran straight up and down and easily punched it in for the 2nd touchdown of the night. with the safety and the hopefully good extra point. It is converted.
Yep, good.
So the Naughts 16-0. Still 5:54 remaining in this first quarter. In control and looking good now with a nice drive on offense.
Yep, a little bit of quarterback jitters. I think once he gets a little bit of Mason gets comfortable underneath the snap. But I tell you what I like there, Tim, on that drive was number 10, our new receiver.
Smith, yeah.
Arian Smith, that's right. Had to put my reading glasses on. That's what happens when you're over 50. I'm taking them on and off. I can't read. But Arian, nice possession catch. Nice possession catch, which really gave us a 4th and short, got the first down, which ultimately led to the touchdown. Nice drive. If I'm coach, I'm happy. Having a little conversation with Mason at the sideline saying, show poise, don't get nervous. You got a lot of talent around you. Like you said at the beginning, don't do it. Don't just keep it simple and use the talent you got.
Fred, you would know this, how Coach Castle works. Even though that first pass from Mason Martin to Smith didn't connect, it probably got the defense respecting, hey, he got behind us there. And then they came back with this nice short reception that you said.
They know who he is. They know who he is. They knew who he was coming into the game, and now like coach is saying, we're going to keep you honest, and it should have been a touchdown anyway.
So it served a big purpose as, again, another fumble as the Dreadnoughts look like they're going to pick this one up.
Dreadnoughts recover.
Number 5, Gerandy Swint, unfortunately for him, saw 4 or 5 Dreadnoughts about to completely pounce on him as he was approaching the ball, and he said, I don't want any part of that.
Nope.
No, thank you. I'm just going to let you have it, I think.
The classic gator arms. Remember that?
Yeah, exactly.
He's got the short arms.
I don't blame him. I mean, we had the Dreadnought ship fully right in his stern, so to speak.
Osceola, I'm sure Osceola's a decent football team. They're probably not the best team that Lakeland's going to face all year. But I will tell you, Lakeland, this does not look like the first game Kickoff Classic type team that Lakeland should be. They look prepared, amazingly confident right now.
Here's some celebration going on the sideline for the Dreadnoughts. And in fact, number 17, Taylor Gant, gets the chain, the turnover chain.
And
special.
It's a big one.
It's a big one, man. It's halfway. It's down to his waist. It's when you make a special play on.
It
special
can't be
teams.
real gold. It's too thick. What do you think, Tim? That can't be real.
It's a lot of fun. Again, high school football should be a lot of fun, and that tradition has been going for a few years now. A little honor to just wear that bling for a little while. He already took it off. He's like, that was fun, and I'm ready for the next one. Get me back out there. Handed it off to a young man. He's ready to play. It'd be tough to play with that thing swinging around your neck.
Coach has got his defense huddled up there, and they're doing some game planning. Offense is about to start. Let's see what Mason can do here with the ball.
So on the fumble recovery by number 17, Taylor Gant, the Dreadnoughts have the ball just at the 10-yard line on the button. Martin's going to get the nice handoff. Just watching, bent backwards. DeMarcus Bowman got wrapped up in a bit of an odd position. He pops up, thankfully, in good shape, but he kind of took a weird hit there.
Yeah, he just kind of folded, bent. The good thing is he bent his knees, and he
kind of went with it. You don't try to fight that.
He just kind of went limp, which is good. Then you prevent the injury that way.
5-yard gain, though, even though it seemed like it wasn't much. When you look at 5 yards on any first down, that's usually a pretty good thing. Sets up your playbook. Second down and goal to go at the 5. Dreadnoughts already leading 16-0. 5:10 in the first quarter remaining. Mason Martin under center. Hands off left side. Bowman again trying to find space. Just pushes the pile a few yards himself. Didn't get much help there as he just ran into a bunch of players.
They seem to be getting good push up front. I think he took that down to about the 2-yard line.
With that many bodies, it's tough to find a gap there where you can really get free there. But the strength of Bowman pushes it 3 yards. Third down and goal from the 2, as Fred said. As number 10 pops out, Arian Smith, as we'll probably have some kind of power package. Number 35 comes into the ball game, Zaire Davis. And we do have that hammer formation with Davis, Bowman, following his blockers over right side and waiting for the official. Touchdown, Bowman. His second touchdown of the night in the first quarter.
Rashawn Glinton the right tackle for Lakeland seemed to get a good push on the right side, and that's kind of what led. And I think he's one of the new players, the move-ins, Tim. DeMarcus just kind of went in right behind him, and he just followed the herd right into the end zone. They're getting a good push up front.
Yep. See those white jerseys moving back almost instantaneously 2 or 3 yards from that push of the Dreadnought offensive line. Word very active, and we like to see that, and very accurate so far tonight, as his third extra point is good. And the Dreadnoughts now.
You know what I'm seeing, Tim? I'm not seeing perfection, but I'm seeing athleticism.
Oh, that's a good
and
call.
they've got that to boot. They've got it to burn.
Yeah. Kind of scary for opposing teams to realize just, hey, we have to figure out DeMarcus Bowman, and then let's throw Graham, Smith. Mason Martin can run too.
We've got turnovers on special teams. I mean, and that again, I can't say enough right now. I'm so excited about this secondary. I mean, they are too deep at each position. And they're tall. They look as big as the linebackers.
But you're right.
They're athletic.
When we talk defense for the Knots, it's usually corners are small, and they're kind of quick, but they don't have much experience.
And you can throw on them, and we've always been a little susceptible to the pass, but we usually work that out. But these guys are athletic.
MW Matthew Word set again, a little bit shorter kick this time, caught at the 9-yard line. Number 5 is going to try to give them decent field position, just not happening there with good special teams play by the Knots. Again, comes out to the 22, and they're just not getting much. They haven't been beyond the 30-yard line.
I know I'm going to sound like a broken record, but remember, if you got 4 starting defensive backs and they're too deep, that means you got 4 other guys that can come in and play, and they're out there on the special teams units, and they're the ones that are they're swarming people.
So if you're joining us, we thank you again. You're seeing some preliminary flashes of positive play and talent, as Fred said, just incredible talent on the field by the Knots. Not perfect, but the athleticism is really taking over 23-0 and still over 4 minutes to play in the first quarter. Yes, that's correct. Missed handoff there. Number 99, boy, Gabriel Dindy just.
That's the 10th grader again. What's his size again? He's 6'3".
6'3", 235.
We're going to be hearing his name for a couple more years.
Yeah, Dindy, and I tell you, you look at certain kids, and he just looks beastly. I mean, he looks like he's in great shape.
He's got a wingspan.
Yeah,
he just looks like they just look athletic. They're just athletic kids. Coach said they work hard in the weight room.
There's no flubber there. He's looking stout. So very scary for opposing offenses, as the Cowboys just really in a huge hole, to say the least. 2nd down and 12 again. The quarterback did a nice little.
I mean, Osceola is trying. They're trying to run inside. They're trying to run outside. Inside, they're just running into too much power and athleticism. And outside, forget it. The pursuit that Lakeland has coming from inside out, from the linebacker and secondary positions, is just too much. And you got to get past that athletic defensive line.
Dwayne McGee was able to pick up about 3 yards, so he picked up a couple of the lost yards on the former play and got out at least past the original line, but still 3rd down and a bunch. 3rd and 8. I'd say almost 3rd and 8.5.
And Osceola, they look beefy up front. I mean, they're not small.
They've got wide receivers abounding now, 2 to the far side, 1 to the near side. They're going to still hand off, though, trying to just spread
counter.
Trying to spread the defense with the counter play, but just too strong up front, Fred. Nope. Nothing there.
Sean Smith with the tackle.
I was just going to say, Sean Smith, number 7, middle linebacker.
Wow.
He's just all over the place.
I tell you what, when you start to say these linebackers, not just one, but they're all flying to the ball.
And when I see Sean Smith on the field, he's clearly a middle linebacker, but I'll see the defensive backs right next to him, and they look about as big as he is. I got to look at the numbers.
Another 4th and long, of course, the Cowboys kicking it off, just in a bit of a despair, I'm sure, right now, finding themselves down a bunch in the first quarter. And that blocked, partially
special
blocked
teams
by
again.
the Knots, special teams, and picked up by number 34, just shy of the 40.
Sean Smith blocked the punt, middle linebacker.
Okay,
running around like he's a DB.
Too, right?
Running around like he's a defensive back.
I love it.
Ladies and gentlemen, we encourage you to please visit the concession
He used all the 6'2" frame there, Fred, and just laid out, and he had that kind of easy.
I think I'm going to start calling us the 6'2" defense because everybody looks like they're 6'2".
Oh,
This is the 6'2" defense.
You're going to say, what kind of formation is that? No, it's something else. I like it. Mason Martin getting lots of work tonight early in the first quarter, finding himself with fabulous field position each time. Special teams having a great game. Mason Martin under center. Hand off. Bowman up the middle. DeMarcus leaps a guy.
That was a leapfrog for about 4 yards.
Yeah, he did. Extended his body full length and picked up an extra 3 or 4. And nearly a first down run straight up the gut. Let's see where they mark it. They gave him about 7, so second down, 3 to go.
Tim, flatter me with Arian Smith, the specs, number 10.
He's 6 foot, 170.
Okay. He's a good-sized receiver.
Enough if you've got that kind of speed for sure. As we do approach this end of the first quarter, I think we're going to do the Dreadnought wave over to the pediatric care unit. A bit of a bobble, but no fear for Bowman. Gets spun around. Nice tackle. Good pursuit by the Cowboys. They're just excited to get him down, Fred. That's a victory if you can prevent Bowman from getting outside. So
exactly.
Nice tackle by the Cowboys on defense and containing them for a 3rd down and 2 still to go.
Like I said, they're not executing perfectly, but they look really good for a kickoff classic. Mm-hmm. And they're so athletic that they can actually get away with these little mistakes for today. Now, opening up against the Hurricanes at Manatee, they got a little work to do.
A little tightening up to do. A few screws loose. They'll get that. Mason Martin steps back. Nice pass. Beautiful right in the breadbasket of number 10. Hits him between the numbers. Arian Smith.
Another confidence catch. That I can't tell you how important that is in order to develop your offense as far as rhythms, first downs, and then and that right there is going to set him up for the long ball. You just wait.
And see, so Fred,
2 or 3 possession catches, and then he goes deep.
But just what you said, if you can pick up 8 yards on a nice possession catch and build the confidence,
yep.
As soon as that defensive back comes up, takes that step, a guy like Smith is gone. I mean, it's not even a fair fight.
And I can assure you that's exactly what Coach is doing right now. He's baiting them.
Fresh set of downs, Mason in the shotgun.
Doing it again.
Over to Smith again. And Smith.
First down.
Bowman actually trying to block out there. Runs up the back of Smith, but all okay. No one got hurt. And Smith just, there's something about being quick. Obviously, that's an advantage, but you also have to have good hands, right? So,
and that was the thing that Coach was telling me when we played golf a few weeks ago. I asked him, because when Coach tells me that somebody's lightning fast, the first question that we always ask each other as coaches is, can they catch?
Yeah.
An athlete can run, but can he catch? And I asked Coach that question, and he said, you know what? We're working on it. The kid's super committed. So I'm really excited to see him making some important possession catches tonight.
Got the gloves, catching it out in front of his body, bringing it in. I like the way he's looking so far. Mason Martin hands off the number 6 to the outside, Jalen Christian. Name you may not have heard as the running back, but just trying to pick up. Oh, it says Jakari Martin. I'm sorry. That's number 5. Jakari, I believe, is Jahari's brother.
Yep.
From last year. Fantastic player in his own right. 3 yards and a first down. So check the box for Jakari on what he was supposed to do there, picking up the first down, a fresh set of downs. They could still pick up another first down inside the 3, but hopefully they won't need to do that as they send out number 9, Jalen Roll. And this near side, Arian Smith. What a potent setup. Handoff number 6 this time. That is Jalen Christian.
Yep, Jalen Christian.
Jalen Christian on the carry.
Mason is not doing a bad job tonight. Obviously with Shale being hurt, the Lake Wells transfer that's being recruited by Auburn, I think he's committed to Auburn. He was supposed to be the quarterback for tonight. He was supposed to be the big news to start the season. And I think Mason's doing a heck of a job filling in for him tonight. And Coach was excited about him even before we got the transfer.
Yeah. It's one of those things as a team player, just stepping up. And even though Mason knows he may not be the starter come a few weeks, but, you never know. You never know with injuries. You don't know how he plays, and he may end up being the guy the whole way. You never know with high school football, so you got to be prepared.
Exactly, and he's stepping up tonight, and he's having a good football game.
So
he's playing within the framework of what he's supposed to be doing.
What most of y'all didn't pick up was it's neat to see Arian Smith actually was blocking in the far left north corner and got in a bit of a scuffle. Both players were going at it.
Okay.
A good 10 seconds after the play was over, and they called the offsetting personal fouls. Oh,
there he is.
End around to the speed. Oh, my word. How quick did he get to that pylon on the outside? Number 10, Arian Smith comes away with a
little
touchdown.
red zone reverse, Tim.
Little reverse, and just not expected by the Cowboys at all. And with that much room on that side of the field, there's just no way you're going to get him.
He virtually went in untouched with about 50% of speed.
Yeah, he didn't even.
He looked like he was jogging.
It was a check speed. It was like a trot for a horse.
Unbelievable.
Not even the gallop. So
again, that play looks easy, but it's not. Mason executed that play very nicely, playing within the framework of the offense.
Did exactly what he needed. His word kicks it perfectly through the center this time again.
Took a good snap, turned his body, nice little flip. Again, showing some athleticism. Arian catching that reverse flip, that little toss. Everybody thinks it's easy. You take it for granted, but catching that ball on the fly with under Friday Night Lights, the nerves, he's proven a lot of stuff tonight. He can catch short yardage plays. He's also now he can catch a flip on the run, showing a lot of good promise for the season.
I'd say so. And I mean, good grief. Again, what challenge for the defense as we are now encountering the Dreadnought wave, as you can see over in the pediatric care unit. Some phones. So all Dreadnoughts are get up and wave their phones, and just a really great tradition started a few years ago at Lakeland Regional Health. Even the opposing team, the Cowboys.
That's really a neat thing that we do for the community, and that where the hospital and the Dreadnaughts come together.
You know, you never know how a little gesture like that can brighten someone's day or hopes or spirits. You just don't know what it can do. And
those little kids are wearing little Dreadnought outfits up there. They got tape underneath their eyes. I saw a few pictures from earlier this evening where a few players today went up and visited with some of the kids, and they put smiles on these kids. And like I said, if for a moment in time they forget about how sick they are.
Right? That's the
truth. They're looking down on the Friday Night Lights from up there at the top of the hospital floor. That's just they give you chills.
Any spark that we can help give and shine a light into their lives. They're going through a lot, but Fred, you expressed it perfectly. Just for that moment in time when they can just not remember what they're going through. That's awesome. So glad to be a part of that. As the Dreadnaughts just. It's hard to express.
So, Tim, what's your first quarter assessment so far, buddy?
Let's see. It was a tight one here at Bryant Stadium. No, just a joy to watch, again, some of the talent and some of the expectation that's going to be there. Again, not to get ahead of ourselves. We never want to do that.
Nope.
But it's fun as fans, alumni, supporters of a team that puts a lot of work in to see, some early reward.
There's going to be a lot of chatter throughout the state and country about what the team has done and how the new players that have come on to the team and how they've gelled with the current players that are stepping up.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of cool chatter.
Which is fun. It adds, a little excitement. We're always glad to be here and always a fun environment. And
the expectations are high at this point, Tim.
Another botched kind of short kick, and the special teams is down there running the wrong way, but finally gets it turned north, barely pushed out of bounds just beyond the 10 at the 11. So I don't know if they just need to work on that a bit, Fred, but they're bobbling every one of them or coming up short.
Number 6 on the kickoff return.
Just, your offense is struggling enough when they have to start back.
And they have to start back.
15-yard line every time.
Going back to what I was saying about expectations, even when I was a teacher and coach and we would have undefeated seasons, and we had them 3 years in a row when I coached, you just have this underlying attitude, and you know what you got to do, and it just gets tough, and the players know how they got to step up and how they got to work hard in the offseason, and it looks like this bunch is thinking the same way. The tradition continues.
Momentum from last year, you don't want to give that up. We've had a couple, obviously, championship seasons in a row. They'd like to do that back-to-back. They unquestionably potentially have they have the talent. It's just all those other factors that come in during the course of the season. But fun to be in that kind of discussion element.
The players have embraced it that have come through Lakeland that are joining, and even the new guys when they come in, the current athletes and the coaches do a really good job explaining, hey, what the cost is going to be, what the commitment's going to be. Your talent alone is not going to make this team better. You got to be a leader. You got to work hard.
Everyone's got to buy into what they're doing, and it looks like they have 11-14 underway here in the second quarter. Dreadnaughts really doing well. 30. Oh, high ball. Looked like number 3 potentially was cutting in front of the receiver. Zay Roberson had a chance to pick that off if it would have been a good pass.
Zay Roberson looked like he was just all over it. The ball was overthrown. He's another one of those athletics that looks like he's – what's Zay Roberson? Let's look at his specs.
Zay is, of course, the senior this year, 6'1", 175.
There you go.
So just
6'2", basically.
We'll give it to him.
I'm going to give it to him. he's part of that 6'2" defense.
That's great. We'd like to say a quick thank you to Duke's Brewhouse, who had some wings and even some healthy salad down there and some good chicken.
Thank you.
Scrumptious eats there. Duke's Brewhouse. Go visit them on South Florida Avenue and enjoy. Quarterback just trying to find anything. Was looking for an option and just nothing there and decided to keep it.
That was the defensive line that time, and they're just creating a pile of line of scrimmage, and the hungry linebackers and DBs can't even get to
go
them.
for it. They just said let them rip, and every time, obviously not real scared of the pass, so our defensive backs are just running, hitting the gaps, and just nowhere to be had for any kind of space for the running backs. Just amazing. So, unfortunately, punting in his end zone, in the south end zone, is the Cowboys. Almost feel sorry for number 9, Spencer Richards, the kicker, who had the last one.
He looks like they're just struggling with the kicking game, no doubt.
Last one, a good snap anyways, gave him a chance to get it
off.
away. Yeah, a little bit of a
looks like
spiral.
AJ. But Finley Graham's got it. Finley Graham.
Finley's got lots of room. He's going to cut back to this near side, back outside, and he knows how to dance. Stiff arm there at the 40, still fighting. Good tackle. Nice job of holding on to the jersey.
Finley's so athletic that when he really doesn't have any play left, he's still trying.
We'll give Kalen Walters a shout out for the Cowboys, who was the one holding on to Finley Graham's jersey, or else it could have been a different kind of play. But still, almost laughable, Fred, at this starting position.
Finley truly believes that when he gets the ball that he can't be stopped. That's dangerous. That's really cool. Fun to watch.
And, Finley normally probably would have been the one to get that last kind of play, except Arian Smith obviously is able to come in. Mason Martin handing off to DeMarcus Bowman, who breaks the line. He would just busted through the defensive line right there. Broke 3 tackles on his way to about a 10-yard run.
That was a delayed handoff up the middle, Tim. And that was a lot of patience on Bowman's part, because Mason got the snap and he just kind of waited, and then he got the ball at the right time. And what you're doing when you do that is you're waiting, you're allowing for the offensive line to make their key blocks. And he just went right through the hole. And there was a lot of congestion in there. He just slipped through there.
And he did, in fact, pick up 10 yards on the button. First down, Knots.
Great blocking up front on that play.
Martin, I formation. Handoff this time, quick pop to, is that number 5 or number 6 there? Look at him run down inside the 10, not to be denied. Jakari Martin.
That was a strong run.
That was a strong run.
Tackled by Jerry Wilson and the Motley.
That was just true grit.
Fred, it's
there wasn't a whole lot of blocking on that. I mean, just good blocking, but nothing special.
Something that's scary is you'll remember players like number 21, Reggie Kellum, who's a pretty nifty little runner, and you haven't even seen Reggie. I'm sure we'll see him as the season goes along and as we have some different contests and different opponents, but just loaded back there. 3 wide receivers this time, 6, 9, and 10 out there. The dangerous Arian Smith out wide. DeMarcus Bowman, the lone setback. Mason Martin out of the shotgun. Does a nice job of faking, but did in fact hand off to Bowman straight up the middle for another 6-yard gain.
Just picking up some quick short yardage. It seems like if DeMarcus Bowman goes forward in any capacity, he's picking up 3, 4, 5 yards.
Yeah. It's an amazing ability to keep his shoulder pads north and south. In almost any position he gets hit, and he always falls forward. That's a lot of yards at the end of the year. You add all those extra yards. Is the hammer formation somewhat in again with number 35 for the Knots in there. Zaire Davis, Jakari, and Jakari. Look
That's
at
it.
Oh, my.
He's in. Jakari's in. Scored. Touchdown.
Goodness me. That was a little power there, too, from the 3 yards going in. Jakari just kind of lowered that left shoulder and lurched a Cowboy into the end zone.
Mason is walking off the field with an awesome set of confidence. I was paying attention to him for 2 or 3 plays. He seems to have settled in at quarterback, playing within the framework of the offense. He knows his role. He's doing it well now. He seems to be calmed down.
You know, it's anyone that plays at this level with the Knots is very talented. So obviously Mason's extremely talented.
Absolutely.
But you know, obviously it
he
makes
doesn't have a
sense.
whole lot to do. He does. I mean, he's got a lot to do. But when you have that much talent around you, the quarterback position, you just have to give it to those athletes.
And not to make, because he was very talented in his own right. But Blair Castle, when he played quarterback, wasn't the most talented quarterback ever out there, but he didn't need to be. He was very intelligent about his decision-making.
And that's all it takes.
Yeah.
And Coach taught him to play within the framework. He always used to say, play within the framework of your defense or your offense. Just know your limitations, know what you can do, and know the people around you. Mason seems to be settled in very nicely with his surroundings.
Thank you to Michael Baird, also Michael and team up here in the Kickoff Classic. Got to see some new faces, some people that are part of the crew, that have been a part of the crew for several years now, and just they do a fabulous job. They're the real workers that set things up and then afterwards stay and pack things up and make us look good and bring this webcast to you. So thank you, Michael and the team, and we just appreciate all you do to bring these webcasts, and I know the Lakeland fans really enjoy it as well. We had a couple people come up to us and say how much they enjoy when they're not here listening to us. So
how can you not be impressed with the Friday Night Live experience with the Jumbotron? I want to shout out Steve Madden, Jill. This is the boosters this year is magnificent. We had a beautiful tailgate for the boosters pregame meal. Fantastic. The banners all around. I mean, there's a lot of volunteering that goes into preparing for a Friday night football experience.
Well said. Came over from the beach as we were talking earlier, and it's just been pouring the last 2 or 3 days. As most of you know here, you've been probably emptying out your pools and puddles in front. But notoriously, this game is either rain out or just a swamp fest. And as you said, just beautiful here tonight. Just a little, I wouldn't even dare say, cool breeze coming into the press box, and couldn't ask much more for a mid-August Kickoff Classic. So a very capable kicker this year who's getting a lot of work in, Matthew Word, number 83 for the Knots, who busted end over end. And
he's not he's not the deepest, most powerful kicker we've had, but he's consistent.
Best run back of the night, number 6, Jalen Christian. I'm sorry, that's not Jalen. That's Dwayne McKee for the Cowboys. Brings it back out to the 32, 33-yard line.
I get here at 4:30, Tim, and Joe Beavis had already had the tent set up with the pregame setup with the pregame meal folks and everything. So that lady goes above and beyond her responsibilities. She truly loves the Lakeland football team and just the sports and the school in general.
Everyone plays a role, off the field, on the field.
Her commitment is to be admired.
Love it. 8:25 as the Cowboys trying to put any kind of points on the board. And again, the great thing about these Kickoff Classics, when you get up like this, Fred, is some of those 2 deep, 3 deep players are going to get to play.
They're getting in.
They're going to get reps.
And they're rotating right now.
Yeah, they're already starting to rotate. I can see where
coaches and they all and they don't look much different than the starters.
That's what's scary, right?
Just by looks on the hoof, they don't look different at all.
So Devon Wells has really had a go of it at quarterback, just scrambling for his life and shotgun, trying to give himself some space to throw it. Now, face mask and rip down.
He's going to get 15 yards on that one.
That's the big one kind of. It's one of those that's unintentional, but it's still very flagrant from the ref's perspective. And
you think you're grabbing something, and you think you're grabbing the shoulder pads, but you're not.
You're just trying to get someone down.
He did it intentionally.
Yeah. But great pursuit, though. I mean, in on the quarterback in a hurry. As Wells has just not been able to even set his feet to throw it downfield.
With a face mask against the Dreadnaughts.
The defense just looks like they have a lot of confidence. That's kind of scary for a Kickoff Classic.
It is.
And I'm a former football coach. I'm not exaggerating. I mean, I'm calling it like I see it. I don't think we're ready to win a state championship right now.
No.
But athletically and from an execution standpoint, we're showing some pretty good poise for a first game. The coaches have done a fantastic job getting them ready.
The tools are in the tool bag. They need to be sharpened and
no doubt
used a little bit the right way, but that'll come with time. And there's no one covering this wide receiver. They picked him up. Finley Graham saw him at the last moment. That was going to be bad, but Wells hands off left side. Nice. A little bit of confidence now for Cowboys nearing midfield. Nice run by number 5, Durandi Swint.
Sometimes a little face mask can give you a
A little 15-yard
yeah. I call it temporary turnover confidence.
Nothing wrong with a little help encouragement from the guys in stripes. Get a little momentum on your side. First time they're approaching midfield. Longest run of the night by Swinty for the Cowboys.
Yeah, when you can turn a bad play into or a penalty into some yardage, and you turn things around a little bit. But hopefully it's short-lived here with this defense. They look stingy.
Fresh set of downs. Wells rolling out right side. Pursuit on. He's going to fire it over to the sideline. Nice. And then dropped. Good play on defense. I think a little pitter-patter feet he heard coming.
He got the throw off, but it's hard for a receiver to catch the ball running back towards the ball. That's exactly what he had to do. Quarterback was running for his life, and he had to throw a sideline pass, and the receiver had to run back for the ball, and it's just hard to catch it, especially when you got a big DB Dreadnought behind your throat.
Incomplete pass, second down 10. I'd like to remind you guys, as the Cowboys, I think, call a timeout here with 7:22 in the second quarter. Dukes was, in fact, the press box sponsor up here, but they also have a post-game gathering that they'd like to let the Knots know about. So, Dreadnought fans, Dukes is, in fact, hosting that post-game party all season long. So, if you were able to have your ticket, you'd want to save that. You can bring that in every home game. Bring that in and get a free appetizer. So, not a bad deal at all with the meal. South Florida Avenue at Lake Miriam Drive. That, again, is Duke's Brewhouse. So,
awesome.
Nice little deal, and always good to get together and talk about Dreadnought football after a home game. Remember,
there'll be a lot to talk about tonight too.
Yeah, you were playing, but at the time there was CDB's Pizza over there, and we used to just flock that place after the game. And
the hard hat sandwich. Remember the hard hat sandwich?
Oh my goodness, yeah.
And the pizza, the
pizza,
deep dish pizzas.
Oh. So
I hear there's still a CDB's in Tampa. I haven't been to it, but I hear it's there.
We've been a few times. It's not quite the same mystique it had when it was back in the day.
Not the Memorial Boulevard CDB's,
that's right. But it'll get the job done in a pinch for sure. Fun times. As a young man I brought to the game, I say young, he's 28, 29 years old, but he's born in 1990. He's like, well, when did you graduate? You went to high school, and then having to pull out the old 87 for us. He's like, what? 80s? I was like, yeah, it clicks by. As time flies, but some things change, some don't. A little inward reverse, and Swinty makes a nice little run of it and breaks a few tackles in the process. Another first down, 2 long runs by Swinty on this possession.
The Cowboys seem to be finding a little bit of traction with their offense. That face mask kind of turned things around for them a little bit and gave them a little spark. Let's see. What will be interesting is to see if this talented Dreadnought defense that's playing together, I'm not going to say they're young, but they're new together. Mm-hmm. We'll see how they can gel and stop this little temporary adversity.
And is it difficult, Fred, up 36-0, to keep intensity up?
Right.
You get a little loose,
but they're athletic and they're junkyard dogs. They got a lot of pride.
6 goes in motion across the backside, inside handoff to number 25. I think that was John Baez. First time we've seen John tonight, an 11th grade running back for the Cowboys. As the helmet comes off, number 9, Rashawn Glinton lost his helmet. He'll have to come off for a play. But Glinton, in fact, made the tackle. So,
2 yards brings up second down and 8.
Well, into not territory, new uncharted waters for the Cowboys. Trying to line dance their way into
they are
into some points.
They're doing reverses and tosses.
The boot scoot boogie they got on offense this time.
They're doing anything and everything they can to get the ball moving.
Just shy of the 35. Shotgun again. Handoff number
Little
6.
counter.
Oh, my.
Number
Look who's
99.
in the back. That is
Gabriel
Dindy.
Dindy.
Woo, Gabriel.
The sophomore sensation.
My goodness, that looked good. That's fun stuff right there.
Well, all it takes is one play to set you back, take you out of first down hope.
Play lost 4 yards, brings up 3rd down and 12.
This is now they're backed up deep, and they don't want to be in this position
And a
right
third
here.
and extra long.
And if the defense does their job, then hopefully this series is over.
Don't think from what we've seen their kicker can quite make a go of it from there. Although they'd like to try to get any kind of points to get that goose egg off the board on the guest side column. Number 6 in motion. They do, in fact, hand off to number 6.
Speed option.
Nice run, but not going to be near enough on a 3rd down and long. He picks up 3.
When the defense, when the Dreadnought defense feels like they want to play, you're not. Oh, little flag. I was going to say you can't pursue, but they might be talking a little bit of trash right now. I don't know what's going on.
So
when you get up like this, usually that begins to happen as a little smack talk. Osceola's going to get frustrated, and Lakeland's going to act confident, and then you never know what can happen. Yep, that's what happened.
Yep.
The flag after the play was an unsportsmanlike conduct against the Dreadnaughts, which results in a Cowboys 1st down.
So 30 yards this far in the drive given away.
This is where they've got to act. This is where they've got to be humble. And I would say because they know they're good, they're athletic, and they got to keep their mouth shut. They don't need to jaw jack with a frustrated team when they're up this high.
What you're talking about, Fred, is a difficult thing to do when you're in high school. Maturity.
17 years old.
I mean,
16, 17, 18 years old.
I would just ask everyone to remember when you were that age, in any heated situation you got in, what kind of decision making did you have?
I didn't even know what the word humble meant.
Right.
We were so cocky. That's all we knew.
Grace and humility, those words are difficult to grasp.
Grace, humility. I mean, no way. Unselfishness.
Yeah,
no way.
Right. What do you? So
we all thought we were the best, and we all wanted the ball. We wanted to be the star.
So they're learning as they're doing on the field, and so what you hope is, again, next time you do show a little bit more humility or grace in that same situation.
Exactly.
It may not be perfect. It may take a while, but we're on that sanctification process.
That's it. This is where coaches looking to see what they're going to do, when they have a little bit of adversity in the Kickoff Classic. But this is going to be a good film study as they prepare for the Manatee Hurricanes for next week away on the road.
That's a big one, and unfortunately we will not be bringing that to you on the webcast, so we'd encourage you, we'd love to have you travel with the team over there to Manatee and cheer him on, as number 5 has had a good series. Swint, that time, get head knocked.
Randy Swint on the carry, tackled by Q Hall.
Q Hall's going to have to come out, too. His helmets are flying tonight. We've seen like 5 or 6 helmets come off.
Kadir came up and made a bone-crushing hit.
He did. Yes.
Number 4, defensive back.
Again,
are you surprised? I keep saying defensive back. Defensive back.
Yeah, it is not from what you said like earlier on. But
the secondary is going to probably play a major role in the success of this defense in the coming year, I can tell.
Dadrian Ellefson comes on, and a few players are checking out. There is a man down. Looks like maybe cramps from the Dreadnought side at the 21-yard line. 43 also is going to check out for temporary Michael Haskett. He's just a 10th grade linebacker also. He's definitely not 6'2". He's 5'7" variety, so he skews the whole team down a little bit.
He's bringing the average down a little bit.
No, just teasing.
But he's athletic, so we'll let it slip.
We'll let it go. All he needs is some 6-inch heels out there to run on.
6-inch heel cleats. Get some tall spikes.
Wells shotgun. Something happening. Tries to keep it. And nothing there. Number 19 wraps him up. What a great Cleotis Anglin.
Cleotis Anglin with the sack.
What a beautiful sack by Cleotis. Again, not a name you're used to hearing from us, but he's a 12th grader.
Lost 4 yards, brings up 3rd down and
Anglin took the right angle on that one.
Exactly.
He was angling the right direction. No chance for Wells.
Except for just a few special players that I've noticed that are sophomores. This seems to be a senior-dominated team so far, the Dreadnaughts.
Good point. When you look at number 1 through 11 on the roster, they're all 12s there. So your skilled players usually in that bunch. Trying to keep this thing going. the Cowboys. 3rd and long, roll out by Wells, left side, still getting pursuit. He's going to get hit, heels down, tries to cut, and oh boy, that was good by number 11, not hitting him out of bounds. Tyrell Jones really showed some reserve there and not nailing the quarterback as he just stepped out of bounds.
That would have been an unwanted penalty.
That would have been another one.
That would have been another one. Not a good idea on the Dreadnought sidelines close to Coach Castle.
But Wells had to, of course, run back and to the side before he turned up field, so not a big gain, if any gain, and a 4th down. And what will they do? Go for it, see if they can keep.
They lost 4 yards.
Why not, right? At this point, I guess just trying to go for a long 4th. And
they got nothing to lose at this point.
14.
3 minutes left before
15.
we get to halftime.
So they're going to send wide receivers out. The problem has been the time that Wells has had. He's back 5 yards deep. He rolls out to try to get himself some separation. He's going to throw the ball to the sideline too high. And again, just the pursuit all night long. You just can't get in a rhythm as a quarterback.
No.
And
They've been the defensive line for Lakeland has done a tremendous job putting pressure on the quarterback the whole first half.
What seems like maybe an easy throw, Fred, is just your nerves are there and you about get hit and you just can't settle in.
Throwing on the run, even on a design play, is hard. But throwing on the run when you got somebody breathing down your throat is extremely hard.
Just under 3 minutes to go in the first quarter. The Knots commanding the first half, really from start to finish on the first play of the game, literally by Finley Graham, and then the safety, and then off to the races go the Knots as Jakari Martin is again going to get the duties on the first play of this offensive possession.
They gain 2 yards. Brings up 2nd down and 8.
2-yard pop. Mason Martin getting the call from Coach Bill Castle, as is what they always do on offense and have for decades. You did that when you were in 87.
Looks like he's
86.
got some backups in the backfield right now.
Yep. Still have the speedster in, though, this side, near side, Arian Smith, wide receiver. Fumble.
Laid it down on the ground.
And that was
that's
Jalen Christian.
Recovered by Reggie Kellum.
Just a bad exchange there from.
He's listed as a defensive back, but again, that's probably part of the athletic depth. The coach is just trying to give them some time on the field. He's trying to kill the clock at this point.
Letting the clock run. And Fred, there are those players that perhaps practice one way and then maybe can't transfer that completely into the game. As nice pitch and catch there again to Smith.
Another possession catch by Arian Smith.
But the coach needs to find out if what they see on the practice field can translate into a game. Sometimes it does, but oftentimes the player may look a little different, or nerves or something may kick in.
Yep.
So
in this particular dynamic, some of these players have come in as seniors. They're seniors this year, coming in with experience from other teams. And so it's more of a matter of that they're kind of proven because coach has seen game film, from playing against them from different schools. But again, it's more of a matter of execution when you get here and gelling as a team.
So hard snap count is going to work, and I knew they were going to do that on a 4th and 2. Yeah. Why not
offsides.
Give it a try? Good practice on the hard snap count, and Mason Martin runs it to perfection as the defensive end for the Cowboys. Try to get a jump start.
But to your point, Tim, if you played for another school, then you come play under the lights here at Bryant Stadium, it's a whole different atmosphere.
Right.
You may be playing at Lake Wales or Mulberry. You can't compare a Mulberry football game to a Friday night experience at Lakeland at Dreadnought Field. So it's you got to get over the jitters, and it really is harder than it looks. We just expect these players to do well. It's hard. You got to have experience. You got to have talent.
Clock is running. I imagine Castle will just run this out with a simple running play here, and he does to Jakari Martin up the middle. He's going to be tackled, and that'll be the last play of the first half. And I wish you were still here. That went by so fast, but it was a lot of fun. And
I didn't even leave early.
I know. That's right. Is it the end of the game? 36-0. You would think it would be unbelievable first half, and you wrap up the thoughts for us on what you're seeing here, Fred. I mean, you kind of summed it up, but give us some final thoughts.
Tim, I think it's what I've been saying throughout the first half. The key is he's got the talent. It's just a matter of how are they going to at what point are they going to gel? And I just didn't expect them to look this good in in this first half. Now, again, I can't judge whether Osceola is a good football team, a bad football. They're not a great football team, but I don't think they're horrible. I think Lakeland is just very athletic, but I'm very surprised by what I'm seeing tonight and how they seem to be gelling. Have you noticed there's not a lot of penalties in the first half?
No. I mean,
not a ton, other than the unsportsmanlike.
Last drive, unsportsmanlike, right?
That's a sign of confidence, right?
Yeah.
So that's swagger.
But a little bit more discipline than we normally would see in a kickoff classic.
But how many times have we started a kickoff classic in the past where we've got holding penalty, one holding call after another?
Yeah.
Remember, Lakeland's kind of was known for that, for penalties. I mean, we virtually saw a first half penalty-free Dreadnought football team on both sides of the ball, other than the unsportsmanlike.
Yep, absolutely. And
so I'm really, really pleased. Again, I'll summarize it this way. Like I said earlier, it's not perfect, but they're not perfect, but they are athletic.
Yeah, and they'll get better with those little things. And you hate to even say this, but the reality is they have such talent in some of those positions that they don't need to be perfect.
No.
Although you get in a tussle with a manatee or someone, that gets a couple breaks, and you got to still be disciplined.
And not to, in anticipation of a couple of weeks from now, we've got, Mason, who's done a tremendous job. I don't want to take anything away from him, but, Shale Garnett, the number 8 senior quarterback transfer from Lake Wales, committed to Auburn. We haven't even seen him. And, supposedly he's a dual threat player.
So our director's giving us some instructions to say hi, Eddie, real quick in this halftime wrap-up. And, so
we haven't even seen the dual threat quarterback yet, who's supposed, and that could add a whole nother element to your team that takes your team to a whole nother level on an offense that's already got unbelievable talent.
And you'll see some of the same core plays, but then you'll see a lot of plays that obviously the new quarterback will do that Mason Martin wasn't going to do.
There'll be some keeper plays in there.
Yeah, for sure. And
I love the possession. I love the possession catches in the first half by our number 10, our new receiver. Very, very impressive. I'm pleased with that.
Well, I like his poise. A lot of times receiver can look a little erratic and kind of all janky, and he looked just solid, in the catches, and then his decision-making after the catch wasn't over the top. He wasn't trying to do way too much.
These kids are lining up on the ball, so a few boosters that had seen him says, and of course, again, I'm a coach. You've got to do a lot to, I don't get easily impressed like a normal fan. They said these kids look like a college football team in a sense, and I was like, okay, I got to see it to believe it. Number 10, when he lines up on the line of scrimmage, the way he looks, his body, the way he composes himself, he already looks like he already looks like he's a college kid.
Yeah, the other thing that he's
a blue chipper.
I love to see in a kickoff classic is blocks downfield. People that aren't even in the play are blocking down. DeMarcus Bowman blocking even when he's not running. I mean, that kind of stuff is just when you have that already ingrained in your people. That's tremendous as the season moves along. A lot of things to be excited about.
A lot of things. Mason did a good job in the first half, and the linebackers in the secondary, the defensive line. It's hard to even single out the unit. I was trying to see if we would single out the DBs, but man, the DL came to play. The D line came to play tonight.
Yeah, they didn't need the defensive backs to do a lot, really. They were pretty easy gets for the defensive back. But encouraging, again, to have some deep players back there, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun to watch them progress. And we're going to, for sure, see some spectacular plays, some spectacular athletes. We are privileged to have some athletes that anyone in the country would die to have. And we have multiple of them.
I try not to take it for granted. I know you don't.
I know.
But we're at this point, and we've earned it. We've been Dreadnaughts now for years, playing hard, and because of the internet and the notoriety. But we're really one of the top teams, top programs in the nation. Yeah, kind of weird, but we are.
I think
it's kind of neat.
Yeah, and after the momentum we had, obviously off the state championship, and then with what's coming and the players, it's gonna be really neat. And so we are so encouraged. We thank you always. We love having you, your family, of course, in many respects, and lifelong friends. And so it's fun to just chat like we would if we were sitting down in the stands up here together.
Time. It's like time has stood still when we see each other.
That's it. So we wish you the best here on your little trip upcoming, and I think Keith Deloach is going to step in a little bit and offer some commentary in the second half. Need to get his perspective on what he saw.
Absolutely.
As a fan there down, and other than that, we'll let you kind of rest a couple minutes at halftime. We'll be back for the second half action. But anything else you want to wrap up with?
I'm your permanent sub. Call me anytime.
That's it. We're going to tap him
Go
in
Dreadnaughts.
several times through the years, and even if he's not doing a half, of course, Jeff Goddard will be back in 2 weeks. We're going to bring him up for some commentary. We'd like to keep Fred's good insight with us all season long, so we'll have him up if you like hearing from Fred all season. So we thank you very much, Fred Lopez.
Thank you, Tim.
Love you, buddy.
You got it.
We'll talk to you
Go
real soon.
Dreadnaughts.
Agnini Family Dental truly is a family of doctors. We strive to give our patients a patient-first dental experience. Our goal at Agnini Family Dental is to provide our patients with the highest level of comprehensive dental care and prevention. Every member of our team promises to put the needs and concerns of every patient first in every aspect of their dental care. Our family of doctors take a tooth-conservative approach to restorative dentistry with a special focus on sedation dentistry, implant dentistry, and orthodontics. Call to schedule your appointment today and let our family of doctors change the way you look at dentistry.
This is what you expect.
Well, don't worry. The whole family's gonna like this. It's not gonna be here tomorrow, I'll tell you that much. It's beautiful. Oh, don't worry about that. We'll fix it. We're gonna handle everything.
And this is a different experience.
Welcome to Regal.
Good times, and all the flavor of New Orleans at Harry's Seafood Bar and Grill.
Few law firms can pinpoint an exact moment that inspired its founding purpose. For Smith, Fedler, and Smith, it was 1942 when H. Guy Smith's uncle was paralyzed after a fall in a sawmill. He died 14 months later, leaving behind a family in need. The loss inspired Smith to found his law firm to fight for the rights of workers, the injured, and their families. To this day, Smith, Fedler, and Smith remains committed to his mission. Smith, Fedler, and Smith.
Whether they're adjusters or nurse case managers, let's be clear. They're still agents for an insurance company. You have rights when you're injured on the job. This includes your right to privacy with your doctor. Don't allow insurance agents to hijack your medical exams. You don't know if they're manipulating your doctor's recommendations, which can harm your case and put you at a disadvantage. Protect yourself and your family. Call us and stand up for your legal rights. Smith, Fedler, and Smith. Justice for all.
Welcome back to the press box high above Bill Castle Field, Bryant Stadium, Kickoff Classic. Lots of fun, highly anticipated game. Face switch, right?
That's right.
Before your very eyes. Keith DeLoach isn't new to a lot of you. He's been around for quite a while as one of the great Dreadnought family members and supporters, and so it's my privilege to have him up here. Came on the spur of the moment and said, Keith, need you in the second half. He's like, I'll do it. If you need me, I'm there. So as is always with your attitude, and we love and appreciate you for everything you do for Dreadnought football. So thank you first and foremost. But it's great to get your insight, too, as a football fan in general, about maybe what you saw, surprises, not surprised in this Kickoff Classic, how things maybe came together for the Knots early on. Just give us your thoughts a little bit.
Yeah, I got to tell you, Tim, it was really impressive. Both offense and defense, to me, really looked almost like midseason form.
Right.
Normally we used to see a lot of penalties, false starts, things like that in the Kickoff Classic, but they look very sharp, look ready to play, and look very, very athletic.
Okay, so Fred and I weren't crazy. We saw the same thing you did.
Yeah, absolutely. It was shocking. A very pleasant surprise.
We said usually the rain of yellow flags comes down,
Yes.
and of course, the athleticism is there in bits and pieces, but not as consistent as it was in that first half of play. And so one of those things we always talk about is, we have no idea to gauge Kissimmee in terms of their talent level.
Exactly. Let's see how they do this year.
Next to what we're going to face next week against Manatee on the road, a true test of character. Obviously, haven't even seen our supposed starter quarterback yet. So, all these things and the dynamics of how Coach Castle uses these players and the influx of players to different positions, moving Q Hall over and doing, with Smith on that one reverse where Fenley Graham may have run that in the past. Just
exactly
neat to see how Coach Castle uses and works those chess pieces, so to speak, to our advantage, and that's what a good 100%. Coach does. And so you have a guest here along with us, too, here that maybe you can introduce us to later. Who's this again?
Yeah, we have Mr. Max up here, huge Dreadnought fan. He'll be at Lakeland High School in a few years.
All right. We love that. So grooming them the right way.
Absolutely,
as we
raising them right.
That's good. So Keith and I will just bring you second half action here. I'm not sure if they're going to do a running clock or what they're going to do.
Probably.
I would guess they want to get things.
I think that's why Coach Castle put the starting defense in when they were getting close to scoring. He wanted to keep that 35-point advantage. All of a sudden, Kissimmee stopped moving the ball.
I think somewhere along the line they do talk about things and decide whether that's going to be the case. But I think with the
they're getting ready to kick it off.
Lead, as we'll turn around and get things underway, as we deferred, of course, to the second half, as we do traditionally when we win the coin flip. We have the ball, so we'll get to see number 10, the speedster, return the ball. If he breaks this tackle, watch out. Fumble, though. Nice strip by the player and went out of bounds, thankfully, for the Knots. But nice little special teams play by Kissimmee to stop the momentum of the speedster and get the ball out. So nice little play there. And, we were talking about, Keith, the talent, obviously, and the speed is obvious. But when you have a wide receiver like Smith, he's got to still be able to catch the ball, right? I mean, the speed doesn't do everything. You can't just run down the field and not be able to. But so some of those possession and receptions were nice to see.
Very nice. Coach Castle told me earlier in the week he's still kind of getting used to the offense, running the routes and catching those deep balls will be a huge factor for us this year.
And a lot of the things that we see are setting up to do that. We want to, you lull the defense in, you have possession receptions, and that opens up the deep ball a lot of times. As we still see Mason Martin in the ball game. It's a nice rollout to the right side and a flip to number 9, intended receiver was Jalen Roll, just a little bit short hopped him there, but not a bad idea with the rollout. I like to see Mason Martin on the move a little bit.
Yeah, I think Coach Castle's definitely going to use this Kickoff Classic to get him some great reps. He played a little bit last year, but he's definitely come a long way. He's grown some and has a real live arm. There in that first half, he just flicked that ball right down there. Just got to work on that timing, and that'll come together with reps and actually getting some game time.
I remember Jeff and I, when we saw Mason playing a few times when we got the lead, he made a few passes that were just exceptional for a high school quarterback. As number 6 is a name that we've called a little bit more, Jalen Christian. And, interesting, again, these names you hear, Jakari Martin and Jalen Christian. We still have not seen, I'm not sure, Reggie Kellam's stats, but a fantastic runner we got in the stable, so to speak. And so just talent abounds there in the backfield.
Yeah, it's really amazing, the skill position players, the backfield, wide receiver. In fact, that's why Q Hall's playing outside linebackers. We're so deep in the secondary. And Coach Castle said we just got to get him on the field. He's just a tackling machine. So I'm really excited to see him closer to the line of scrimmage this year. More like a strong safety, just always down in the box at that outside linebacker position. But he's really got some nice speed.
And we've seen some of that with the defensive backs coming up so fast, plugging holes for the defense on the Dreadnaughts, just really doing a neat job flying around the ball. And nice sidestep there, good stiff arm at the 42, picks up 3 or 4 yards before he's wrestled out of bounds. So Christian getting some good reps in the second half of the Knots, up 36-0. We do expect that running clock as the Osceola Cowboys have not been able to put points on the board. Yet they tried, the refs tried to help them a little bit here late in the second
they sure
part
did.
of the second
did.
quarter, but still unable to punch it in, and the Knots still throwing a goose egg on defense, and Mason Martin still in the ball game trying to take time off the clock and still work that offense in practice. And number 13, number 9, I believe, is out wide to the far side. I formation otherwise. Handoff second man. Number 6 again gets the ball. Christian on a nice run. The left side has a hole. Good job of catching up with him by number 3. Daniel Cooper made the last-ditch effort to knock him down, or else he would have been off to the races for sure. But a nice run, good first down by the Knots second-teamers.
Play game 21 yards and results in a Dreadnaughts first down.
Anytime you can say 21-yard gain, no matter who's in there, it's a nice pickup.
Absolutely. The second team's looking sharp as well. So I'm just very encouraged that they seem focused, seem ready to play, and it should be another great year for Dreadnought football.
When you don't see much of a drop-off when you see these other players come in, it's very scary for other teams. And, it's rightfully so because we're, Dreadnaughts past. Fred and I were talking about, some national recognition that will more than likely be coming as Martin loads up and fires. Caught! What a beautiful pass on the numbers. I think that was, who is that?
Number 13.
13. I was going to say it wasn't 10. So
Drake Keys.
Drake Keys, the 10th grader.
10th grader. What a play for him.
What a beautiful pass. Boy, right on the post of the south end zone. I mean, that was a fly pattern straight up the gut. And Martin put it on a dime right in the hands of number 13 there, Drake Keys.
Yeah, that was a great job by Keys not giving up on the route. He just kept running and found that football right in the end zone.
Looked like there may have been a little too much leading of the receiver for a moment there, and but the ball stayed up in the air just enough for Keys to continue his, and again, just like you said, ran the route well enough to stay under the ball and then just make a nice reception there. So,
yeah, what a great experience for a 10th grade wide receiver.
Bit of a fluky snap, but able to kick it through, and nice job of what the kicker has done. Not the longest kicker on the kickoffs, but perfect on these extra points and getting the job done. So good part of the team is the kicking game and doing a great job tonight.
Yeah, it seems like lately we get a new kicker every year. So
it does. So 43-0 now is your score. The Cowboys again, only realistic chance coming in the latter part of the second quarter on a few of those penalties. They had a couple nice runs by Swint, so that got them into at least charging territory, but unable to lasso, if you're a Cowboy, any points.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if Coach Castle puts more of the second-string defense in on this opening series here for Kissimmee.
So the word on the street is Word's a pretty good kicker, at least thus far. He's doing a nice job.
He is. We were joking down in the first half. He's going to be wore out before his Kickoff Classic game's over. He's kicking off so much.
Good practice. He approaches the ball. Nice end-over-end kick, about where he's been putting it, right about between the a little shallow 12-yard line this time. And number 6 tried to get ahead of steam up. McGee ran into that very talented special teams for the Knots. Boy, when Q Hall's flying down there, watch out.
Yeah, special teams has also looked really good tonight, so definitely exciting to see them focused and making plays as well.
Q Hall makes the kind of tackles. Remember when Rainey used to be on special teams and used to just light people up?
That's right, just looked like a missile coming out of nowhere.
Reminds me, he's that kind of same player. It's like you think someone else is going to get the tackle and you see number 4 flying through the gap.
Yeah, Q Hall's picked up right where he left off in the state championship game for sure.
Absolutely. Strong talent. 5:30 remaining. We are under the running clock here at the Kickoff Classic. Dreadnaughts well in control and have been really since the opening play where Finley Graham scooted for a touchdown on the first play.
Yeah, well, I thought that was a really neat opening play, just do the Wildcat to Finley Graham. Everybody talks about Bowman and Arian Smith, rightly so.
Well, here's a big burst of light and encouragement for the Cowboys as number 6 is going to break free. A couple missed tackles at the 40-yard line results in a Cowboy touchdown. So good job of getting the ball from Wells to number 6, McGee, and then McGee does the rest down the sideline.
Yeah, it's always good to get on the board if you're the Cowboys. That's definitely a nice play for them. Give them a little momentum.
Not sure how many on the other side are Dreadnought fans, but we do see a little blue and white, some blue shirts. So those that have traveled at least get to see the goose egg wiped off the board.
Yeah, that's good. And I tell you, it was really great attendance by the Dreadnought fans.
Oh.
I think this is probably one of the best crowds we've had for a Kickoff Classic in a long, long time. So it's really nice seeing the community come out for a practice game like that.
Nice extra point try. It is good. 7 points now on the board for the Cowboys. I can't say I was surprised, but again, pleased at just what you said, the amount of attendance. It looks like a regular game for sure.
Absolutely. And the home side is very, very well attended tonight, so that's great to see. And we kind of lucked out with the weather. It was looking really dicey there this afternoon, but what a great night. Nice breeze, so perfect night to be out at Byrant Stadium.
The Kickoff Classics of the past, Fred and I were saying we're not kind, to unless you're a duck, but it has been notoriously a downpour, and thankfully just kind of skirted us to the north. And beautiful, as you said. So for mid-August night, to say you have a semi-cool breeze is a good thing.
Absolutely, not bad at all.
Yeah. So just on this temporary water break, they do stop the clock. And again, Keith continuing that tradition of the Dreadnought Wave, obviously such a neat thing in the first quarter. And
yeah, that was really nice partnership with Lakeland Regional, and I think that'll just be something we do for years to come. And I know last year one of the nurses sent a little video to Jill Beavis, our Booster Club president this year. So getting to see from the hospital side, looking back at the home stands, it was really, really neat to see those precious little kids in there recovering, and it really, really means a lot to them.
Yep. Like I said, just if Fred put it eloquently, said, if we can just take their mind off for just a brief moment what they're going through.
Absolutely.
And, that's a check the box off for our job done there, and we love and appreciate all that they do over there. So neat to have them as part of the family.
Well, it looks like we got the second string kickoff return. This will be interesting to see how they do.
We do. Is the Cowboys number 9 set to boot it away? Spencer Richards, who has not been active tonight.
That's for sure.
He's glad to get that leg some use. We'll see who actually gets this reception back and the opportunity to try. Oh, he may not. No one may get it. Nice kick. He's fired up now. He gets a chance to. He saved the leg.
Exactly. He was ready. He was ready. Very nice kickoff for the Cowboys.
Touchback. First down and 10. Let's see if Martin still comes in. It's interesting to look down the roster and see we do have Brett Nutting, a 10th grader, enlisted as a quarterback. Not sure if Mason will probably play out the game, but we'll see if who else gets reps as we see fresh jersey numbers coming in now as well.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Coach Castle plays him a little bit. Like I say, get him some nice game reps, be able to watch the film this next week. And he's actually looked really, really prepared. And, gosh, for only a 10th grader, that's exciting for the future as well for Dreadnought football.
Yeah. I was impressed, obviously, with Gabriel Dindy in the first half. They're a 10th grader. A lot of our roster is, in fact, if you look at the 1 through, 12, all 12th graders. So it's definitely packed a little bit with the 12s, but a lot of contributing factors for the 10th and 11th graders. And Mason Martin is one of those youngsters. You forget, you're thinking, oh, Mason's been around. He's still super young.
Absolutely. 10th grader out there playing varsity football. And with the running clock, Coach Castle can call some pass plays, and it doesn't stop the clock, but allows them to get some throw-in reps as well. So that kind of works out in our favor.
Mm-hmm. So Mason keeping the nice little hair in the back going.
Yes, as they say in lacrosse, he's got the flow going.
Oh, he's got the flow. I love it. 2 wide receivers, bit of a bad exchange, and the Cowboys will recover at the 15-yard line. So just a bad snap against something, with the second, third team, you may not be as
I was just going to say, it's tough. As a quarterback under center, it's second string center, probably doesn't have a lot of reps with them. So, that's kind of not real surprising that happened, but something they can work on for sure.
Mm-hmm.
The Cowboys take over
And,
first down and 10 from the Dreadnaughts.
we talked about
16-yard line.
that line of talent, and you want to be confident in the talent that you have, and the athleticism, as you mentioned, is obviously there. But you still have to improve with the discipline. You still have to do the little things, blocking downfield that gets you to, by no means are we a championship caliber team at this point. But, yeah, the tools are in the bag, but a lot of work to be done still.
Flag on the play.
Absolutely. It'll be exciting to see this team as they grow throughout the season. They definitely have a lot of potential for sure.
Flag on the play going against the Cowboys. It'll push them back outside the 20. And they did a nice job on their last possession, getting 7 on the board, and this would be another little victory for them if they can somehow get it in on a 1st and 15 now to work with. Different guy in at quarterback. It looks like Blake Birchler, a 10th grade quarterback, calls for the ball, hands it to number 5, Swint, their main running back.
Yeah, there's actually some nice gang tackling there by the defense.
Well, that's what we noticed again. It's when you call these, it's fun, but sometimes difficult. And when a good Dreadnought defense, you always have 3 guys on the ball. You're like, okay, which one actually made the tackle? I'm not sure who made it. Like all 3 of them kind of made it. But that's a good thing to have as an announcer when you have defenses flying to the ball.
Yeah, the first string defense, they looked really ready. They Cowboys didn't get a first down the entire first quarter.
So time quickly running off in this third quarter, just approaching the minute mark, and this snap, and the second string quarterback is and rolls out under pressure, throws it out of bounds just to get rid of it. He was in dire straits there.
Yeah, very fortunate for him. He was outside the tackle box because that didn't make it back to the line of scrimmage.
No.
Brings up 3rd down and 11.
So saved himself some yards zinging it out of bounds there. Probably an intelligent play, even though no gain. Loss of down, 3rd down and 11. And, bit of a different kind of schedule for the Knots this year.
Very much so. Not nearly as many home games.
All right. So we've kind of been very privileged to have 7 or 8 per year. I think we have 5 on the docket this year, or 4 maybe, 4 or 5. But some good ones nonetheless. Some teams that maybe aren't as recognizable to the Dreadnought fans, but so that should be fun.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to be in the new district. Got some of those Hillsborough County teams that we haven't played as much in the regular season.
Delay of game against the Cowboys.
So not helping their cause there.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting this year with the new 40-second play clock, doing more like college and the pros for the first time at the high school
That's
level.
a good point. We hadn't talked about that yet. So a quick end to the third quarter with the running clock. They just stopped it for the brief water break. And the Dreadnoughts still obviously well in control. 43-7, but the Cowboys did make it on the board on a fine little play.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you guys talked about it in the first half, but that's one of the reasons Coach Castle is not having the quarterback run over to get the play like he has for years, because as soon as the play is over, that 40-second clock starts, and if it's a big play, then the offensive line has to get down there. You got to get the play in. So it's been interesting to watch Coach Castle, even as long as he's been coaching, change up what he's doing.
Big adjustment for him.
He's making the adjustment.
We didn't talk about that because actually a couple times we did see the quarterback come over, but I think it was either maybe after a timeout or a break. But, yeah, that's a good observation, and we'll kind of follow how that works with play calling throughout. He's pretty crafty, though. He usually finds a way to get what he wants in there and get stuff done. All right, so we're entering the fourth quarter, still in the running clock. Tim Conti, Keith DeLoach, and the whole production team along with you here for this Kickoff Classic. Number 12 still in, the second string quarterback, drops back, fades, throws it over the middle, has a man, and it's caught. The same number 6, I think. Is that McGee again?
It looks like it, yep.
Touchdown Cowboys. McGee just got free, and the quarterback actually delivered a nice ball. Blake Birchler threw it just high enough to where McGee could actually kind of just flow over the defense for the Knots and get his hands under it.
Yeah, quarterback did a great job. Took a pretty good hit, stood in the pocket, delivered a nice pass. That's another nice play for the Cowboys.
A bit of excitement for them in this half. They've actually outscored us this half.
That is true. That is true. It is amazing the difference between the starting 11 on defense for sure.
Well, we got a jump start on that one. Maybe broke free a little bit. Hit the outside bar to the left and did not go through. So thanks, Matt. Max is giving us the official no good sign over there.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I always thought it'd be neat if those could have it like hooked up like a tuning fork, and you could mic that so it would just go doing and just make a great sound.
Yeah, he hit that upright square for sure.
Good shot. Obviously football fans in general, Keith, excited about their college teams, and we were doing a little bit of travel around the country past several universities, and just a lot of excitement in the air again if you're a football fan, and just a neat time of year with the anticipation. And
yeah, you got University of Florida and Miami and Orlando next Saturday.
That's pretty big.
Yeah, starting a week early.
Is it a week early than normal?
Yeah, they moved the game up. It's the only college game next Saturday for in honor of 150 years of college football.
Oh, so very cool.
Yeah, it's kind of neat. They'll be the only game on, and then obviously everybody kicks off the next weekend.
Excellent. Oh, that's neat. So all eyes to the Gators and the Hurricanes next week. So that's kind of like the unofficial kickoff college classic, I guess. Nice boot caught at the 12-yard line. Little hole up the middle and lots of speed. And number 17 for the Knots gets it out. Taylor Gant to near the 40-yard line. Nice burst.
Boy, that was really nice.
Boy, talk about speed just in spades back there.
Yeah, it's really nice when that's your backup kickoff returner.
Yeah, I'd say. That's awesome. So big gainer. This clock continues to tick here, and nice thing is we know, except for the water break, we'll be done in 9 minutes and 18 seconds. Now, it's been really fun to see, again, some of these new players that we've heard about. And you, again, I haven't been on as much with the practices and seen some of that, but that's the fun part for me is getting to know these players and their mannerisms and their contributions. Mason Martin still in the ball game. Starting quarterback, hands off the number 30 to the outside, who has a nice little gap and picks up a good 6-7 yards.
Brinson on the carry.
Another new name there, Javante Brinson.
Yeah, that was a really nice play there off tackle.
Another 10th grader. Fresh legs in there for the Knots. Again, you got to believe that they still have their first team defense out there, probably their better players. So
yeah, it looks like most of them are still playing.
Mm-hmm. And we do see Brett Nutting checking in the ball game now.
Yeah, just noticed that. So that might be it for Mason Martin.
I'm sorry, he's number 18 for the Knots. That could be it for Mason. I formation. Brett under center drops the ball. So I don't know what happened there. If that stayed on the ground, someone picked it up.
The Dreadnought running back kind of picked it up and actually gained 2 or 3 yards. So making a little something out of nothing there.
Couldn't see that. It looked like literally like a scrum pile melee. We couldn't see the ball, but it was apparently picked up, like you said, by a knot and just advanced a few yards.
Yeah, just how Coach Castle drew it up.
Yep, exactly like they wanted it. The old perfect 2-yard fumble play. It's looking for a third down conversion on a 3rd and 1 for that second and third team Knot offense. Still pride points for them trying to advance the ball.
Yeah, this is just great experience for them to actually be out on the field, and well, we're having trouble with that snap.
So 2 consecutive snaps.
Recovered by the Cowboys.
Brett couldn't hold on to it. Again, you never know how much they're practicing together and all that good stuff, but that's Brett's just saying, I don't know what happened, Coach. It just came out. Coach Castle, as usual, just nice little encouragement. That's all right.
Yeah, he gave him a pat on the head. He understands. It's a tough position coming in, running clock. Like you said, probably hasn't gotten a ton of reps.
You always want the backup quarterback, though, to at least have enough confidence to get the snap and hand off.
Yep, absolutely. I guarantee you he'll be working on that next week.
So, that could be one thing. A little bit of focus there on. You might get the super reps of getting the snap and handoff going. 6:35 remaining, and after the turnover, Cowboys have the chance to put their 3rd touchdown in this half. Nice little fake there and almost near the line of scrimmage, but passed it off down the sideline. Might be another touchdown if there's no flags. Does he stay in bounds? Yeah, I think so. Touchdown, Cowboys.
Yeah, this will be one of those classic cases if you just happen to see the score in a paper and you're in another part of the state, you think, oh, Kissimmee, Osceola gave Lakeland a halfway decent Kickoff Classic game.
Yeah.
Unless you actually read the article.
Yeah, it's one of those things, it's hard. You don't want to let your pride get in the way. You won the ball game, but at the same time, you're still a competitor.
Exactly, absolutely.
So it's tough sometimes for the coaches to swallow the, one's a, 2, 3, then starts to get a little.
Well, and the reality, Tim, is it's actually great for these younger kids to get this on tape, and the coaches will have a lot of coaching points for them because they all think they should be starting, and so this kind of lets them see what it's like to be out there.
Yeah. Good observation as well that players are there. Certain players are there for reasons, but great learning experiences. And Tom, we'd like to thank again Duke's one more time, Duke's Brew House. Mind you that they do have a post-game gathering all season long for every home game. So in a few weeks, you can bring your ticket, and with a regular order, you can get a free appetizer. So as long as you bring that game ticket in with your meal, you can get a free appetizer. And they're, of course, at South Florida Avenue at Lake Miriam Drive. But we thank them for providing some eats tonight.
Yeah, they had a nice array of wings down there. And, in fact, Max had a couple before we came up.
All right. I have to say, I actually dug into the salad. Was very good, too. It's rare to see green stuff down there.
Yeah, I was going to say, that doesn't happen often in the press box.
No. So we're happy about that. So with the touchdown, they are on for the extra point. And number 9 set to kick this one. He's been good so far. Spencer Richards actually bonked one off the left side. I'm sorry, he was not perfect.
Yeah, let's see what happens here.
Dreadnaughts loading left side. Here come the Knots. Oh, almost got there, but not quite. Good extra point executed by the Cowboys.
It looked like they might have almost blocked that one, but it looked like they kind of let up there right at the very end.
Yep. So one play, 53 yards. They've got some big ones. They've helped their averages if you look at their
Absolutely. Couple long plays.
Compared to the first half, if you look at their points and their yards, you'd think what in the world happened. But again, by design, Coach Castle's well in control of things and using them, sure, as Keith wisely said, as coaching opportunities. Sometimes we do that with our kids. Just let them in a situation we know there's going to be a little
chance to grow.
Yeah.
Chance to grow.
A little adversity is okay.
Yeah, I want to make sure we gave a nice shout out to Michelle and Jake, Max's mom, and his older brother.
Cool.
He was excited that they would be listening in the second half.
All right. He's having fun. All smiles up here. He's got the best seat in the house up here.
I told him this is the best place to watch a Dreadnaught game. It's really amazing in this elevated up here on the third floor of the press box.
You can kind of see some things develop. That's kind of what we used to call the old pooch lob, is that bounces off a knot. That nicely recovered, though, at the 31.
That was a nice job. I think instead of fair catching, he was getting excited to try to return that one.
Sometimes on the short ones you think, I could just run through that defense and make something happen. Who's number 35?
Yeah, 10th grade running back, Zaire Davis. Okay. He thought, I'm going to run this thing.
He's like, I got a shot. That's one of those where, even when you used to play schoolyard football, when it hits you kind of high in the chest and just bounce, you just can't do anything. You can't quite get your arms up there.
Yeah, exactly what happened to the Kissimmee returner in the first half. When that thing bounced off his chest in a hurry.
You just misjudge it by about 6 inches, and there you go. We'll get to share with you many of our great sponsors, too, as we come throughout the year in the regular games. This was kind of, as Michael Byrant put it, to get the hamster on the wheel and get it spinning a little bit.
Yeah, everything's looking really good. And, boy, I tell you, having the new Jumbotron, I don't know if you heard, but we have 7 new Jumbotron sponsors, 7 new companies in addition to what we had last year. So it's really nice to see the community not only supporting, but it really is a huge billboard during the week. Yep. You can get your company logo up there and support the program.
Kickoff Classic or regular game, Horse still sounds good from the band coming. You usually play that around the third quarter or so, but the running clock is probably where it would have been, but they're cranking it up. And again, Having lots of fun, just back in the action, back in the sequence of this 2019 year for athletics and for academics, and time rolls on.
Yeah, it was great to see everyone out here, the Anchorettes, the band.
Boy, 3 consecutive kind of botched snaps.
Yeah, they're having a time with the quarterback center exchange. They'll be Monday at practice. I know what those guys will be doing for sure.
2nd down and 10 after the miscue. Actually, they lost. Take that back. They lost a bunch. They lost 8 yards. 2nd and 18. Lost more than we thought there. I love how you looking down on the sidelines. You got, Finley Graham, Q Hall. Got a bunch of the starters still already watching plays and game tape and stuff, and seeing what.
Yeah, that's another great thing that the Dreadnought program has, is the ability to have those in-game coaching points right on the TV.
Unless they're watching a rerun of Friends or something we don't know about. Kind of a
that looked like a horse collar
tackle, but they didn't call it. But Brinson with a nice run, getting back all the penalty yards. There is not a flag. So, there is. I'm sorry, there is a flag back.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think they.
But that's typically
a
holding call. Unfortunate. Yeah, that's what they're signaling early. So against the Naughts, a good run by Brinson will be negated.
And about another 40 seconds will come off the clock.
That's right. We did hand it off, though, that time. There was an actual exchange.
Yeah, that was actually a really nice run.
One positive thing. So it looks like a pattern of, we had the cheerleaders down, there's anchorettes and cheerleaders switching halves, and then, of course, the helmet down now at the north end zone parked. Some little subtle differences.
Yeah, I noticed that. Definitely different.
Nice little pitch by Nutting and a good tackle by number 34 in the backfield. Brinson doesn't get much because 34 just came charging. Osha Shelton, nice tackle. And we're going to get a couple more plays in and wrap this thing up. Loss of 3 on the play. I think they'll just wait and snap this late so that they can just run things out here. It'll be really close.
Yeah, we haven't punted tonight, have we?
I don't believe so.
I don't think we have, because I know Coach Castle went for it when it was 4th and short. And that'll be interesting. We might see the punt team at the very end here.
Right. The quarterback keeper just to run out the clock, but we're going backwards.
Almost looked like he was supposed to hand that one off.
I'm not
sure he was supposed to keep that one.
Poor Brett's taking a little bit of a beating. It's like,
well, that is good. Looks like we might get to see going to see the punt team.
Oh boy,
get a little game action with a running clock. Always exciting to snap inside your own 10 like that.
So sometimes the kicker is your punter. In this case, it looks like Matthew Word is the punter also.
Yes, that's right. He's punting and kicking for us this year. So this is actually a positive thing. Get a chance to run the punt team out there, and let's see if they're as well oiled and ready to go as the rest of the special teams.
Still with this, depending on where the punt goes, there's a late player coming in for the Cowboys.
And we got to delay a game.
Yeah, there you go. We'll give Word a few extra yards. Oh, no, we're going back the other way. What the
well, it's interesting. We won't have to snap it now with the running clock because they'll reset the game clock to 25 seconds.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see if Coach Castle actually has them do it just so they can get some game reps, but we'll see. It doesn't look like they're going to snap it.
They're waving them on the sideline just saying, don't snap it.
Yeah, they're not going to.
But he might not have seen him. No, he did see him. Okay, good job. That-a-way. They got in formation anyways.
We
never
got the formation out there. Didn't actually have to snap it, though.
Oh, that's funny. A no-punt game. That's very interesting. But nonetheless, a few little bursts there by Kissimmee late going and with the second, third team in. But a dominating Kickoff Classic by the Naughts. 43-20 is your final score. And just excitement abounds and a lot of fun upcoming in this 2019 season, Keith. And I know you're excited as well.
Oh, boy, I can't wait. They really, really look good. Should be a lot of fun watching them kind of gel and come together. But, yeah, definitely encouraging. Like I said, probably one of the cleanest Kickoff Classics Lakeland has had in a long time.
Max, did you enjoy things as well? Yeah, Max.
We're going to let Max talk to Mr. Tim here for a second.
Headphones on just for a second, and so he can get the full experience. And so, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Good deal. So, did you enjoy the game?
Yes, I really did.
Good. Are you a football fan?
Yes, I'm a big football fan. We're a fan of the Florida State Seminoles and the Buccaneers.
All right. That's two good teams to follow. So, hopefully, we'll have success with both of those this year, right? So, yeah. we're gonna actually have you stand up and be on TV, Max. So, we're going to turn around and so people can see you. Because you're way cuter than Keith. You know, people want to see that face. We can go. So it works. They can see it just fine. But, no, it's great to have you here. And we always obviously welcome people in the Lakeland family. And you're part of the Lakeland Dreadnaught family forever. So we will follow you. And hopefully that maybe you'll get to play with Coach Castle someday. Who knows? He may still be around.
Yeah, maybe.
Do you know what kind of position you would like to play?
I would either like to play wide receiver, running back, or cornerback.
Oh, those are good positions. So it's a lot of fun. We're glad that you got to kind of experience it in the press box. And they always show their good sportsmanship on the field and congratulate each other. And so are you going to try to come to any other games this year?
Yeah, me and Keith are going to try to come to the games a lot.
Oh, good.
It's going to be super fun.
Good. Well,
playing against Lake Wales and all those
other
teams.
So we get to maybe hopefully beat up on them a little bit. And
maybe undefeated again this year.
Now that would be nice. So I know the expectations are high. People really think after last year. Did you get to see the state championship at all? Did you get to watch it on TV or see it?
We didn't. We watched the highlights. We watched that return that the kicker had.
Yeah, Finley Graham. Yeah,
that was a good one.
That was neat. So there's a lot of memorable moments. So hopefully they'll make the same kind of memorable moments this year and this season, and we'll be at that state championship game again. That would be nice. So we're going to look forward to seeing you a lot. So make sure that you're waving to us and saying hello at each game that you're here. We'd love to kind of keep track of you throughout the season, get your input on how the Dreadnaughts are doing.
Yeah.
So it's very good to meet you, Max, and thanks.
Shout out to my mom and brother.
Thanks for joining us. Give it back to Mr. Keith there as we wrap up. Yep. That's good. Again, Dreadnaught fans and cultivating that next generation for sure. And as we kind of give our final thoughts and wrap things up, again, thanks to the crew for the Kickoff Classic. Beautiful evening. Couldn't ask for better. Came out guns blazing for sure.
Absolutely. They looked really good.
First play of the game, we're kind of like, wow. And some just positive things. And I tell you, just the experience of any kind of game. If you haven't come out, we just want to continue to encourage you. If you love high school football, just come join us, for
Absolutely,
a Friday night.
no better place.
Yeah, it's just a very friendly place to watch a game. A lot of excitement going on and a lot of things to look at and do, even if you're not just wonderful, as far as the football fan, there's a lot to see and be a part of here at Lakeland. So we encourage you to come out. Some good home games upcoming. So keep posting. Always go to dreadnoughtfootball.com and watch us again on the webcast, and we'll give you the information as the season progresses on things. But any final thoughts, Keith, on the game?
Yeah, I tell you, just real encouraging, excited to see the boys focused, ready to play, and can't wait to get into the regular season next week.
Yeah, so we are in the regular season. We're away against Manatee, so we will not be broadcasting next week. We'll be back with you in 2 weeks, though, here at the home Bryant Stadium for a great contest.
Boy, I tell you, Bradenton Manatee, for old Dreadnought fans, that's an old rivalry.
Remember, this
old
place,
rivalry.
When they used to come here, I remember this place used to be, both end zones were packed even. It was
10,000 people.
10,000 people, and so, hopefully over there we bring back a victory and start the season off, the official season right. But Kickoff Classic, not a bad way to get things officially looking good. So we'll wrap things up. Keith Deloach, Tim Conti, and again, thanks to Fred Lopez earlier and Michael Barrett and the crew. Thanks again to you guys, and we'll look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks here on the Lakeland Football Webcast. Take care, God bless, and good night, everybody.